Change is coming to Fair Park. Joining me this morning is Darren James, the president of the Fair Park First Board of Directors. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. So big vote by the Dallas City Council.
Yes.
It was unanimous.
Exciting.
Change needs to happen at Fair Park. It's coming. What did you think about the unanimous vote?
I was excited.
Yeah.
I don't think I was anticipating a unanimous vote, but
Okay.
I'm glad to see that the entire city council and mayor were behind our efforts to transform the park.
It sounds like they all feel like Fair Park needs some help, and that's where you come in, because you basically, so the food and entertainment company Spectra is going to be running Fair Park with the help of you guys, basically
Right.
this nonprofit that's called Fair Park First.
That's correct.
And this is very similar to what happened to the Dallas Zoo, for example, and that turned out to be such a success. Is that what we're hoping for here?
So we modeled this after the zoo as well as the Arboretum. And we're going to look to be, as the board, we're going to look for a community connectivity as well as fundraising and making sure that the residents around the park have a voice in what's going to happen at the park.
Which is really important, because I think the community wants a say, right?
Yes, they do.
Is that what you've heard a lot of?
We've heard that a lot. Yes.
A lot. So the city's going to pay Spectra $34 million over the next 10 years. City estimates the public-private venture will save taxpayers $12 million a year. For some people, they're like, what? We're going to spend this and we're going to, this isn't adding up.
Okay.
But it really does in the end.
So essentially the city right now is subsidizing the park at about a $12 million clip. We're asking the city for $4 million, so there's a $7 million savings, and that's how
Okay.
the savings over the life of the contract is going to come across.
So what kind of changes are we going to see immediately? Are we still going to recognize Fair Park when all these changes are said and done?
You will. What you're going to see, though, is a lot more activity, a lot more patrons
Okay.
coming to the park. We're going to start to look to activate the festivals, events, food service, and then we're also going to create a community park. So we're going to have a park inside the park that's actually going to be outside the fence, so that year-round residents around the park can use the park for throwing a frisbee, kicking a soccer ball, throwing a football,
Kind
things
of
like that.
thinking Clyde Warren Parkish. I mean, just the fact that that's been wildly successful.
Exactly.
It's kind of basically looking at what has worked in the city and trying to bring it all to Fair Park and hoping something sticks.
Well, it's a regional destination. It has the largest collection of Art Deco architecture in the
Yeah.
world, and so we already have international tourists that come. So what we want to do is just open the eyes to the residents and say, come back to Fair Park and see what's going to be out here.
I think we think Fair Park and State Fair, and that's probably it. So you're hoping that basically it'll be Fair Park as a destination year-round. And Spectra actually can provide some of that. That's the hope, because they have a lot of connections within the entertainment and performers and that kind of thing,
So
right?
they do events, cultural events. They do Art Basel in Miami, so they know
Okay.
how to activate spaces. And the one thing that we really are looking for is you got Dallas Summer Musicals, the African American
That's
Museum,
right.
and Texas Discovery Garden that are already there and active and engaged in living in the park. So what we want to do is help shore them up and increase their patronage as well.
A little boost at Fair Park. All
Exactly.
right. Well, you got a big job ahead of you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here this morning.